The power of light. Since the dawn of mankind, we, as a species, always looked up and envied these avian creatures that soared up in the sky, covering great distances, having superiority in the air, flying predators that capture their unsuspecting prey at great speeds. We always admired and marveled at the idea of flight. We made planes, parachutes, gliders just to mimic these winged creatures. We pondered a question: what would it be like to be the master of the skies, looking down on inferior, flightless beings? Today, we may not reach the heavens, but we can at least try. And also, do you like bugs? Because this is your intro to the insect glaive. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Monster Hunter Wild's Weapons Intro, where we show you just the basic information about every weapon in the game, just to help you decide whether you like it or not. This is not an in-depth tutorial. We won't teach you the moves, no specific stuff, just an intro. So yes, welcome, and today we're working on the insect glaive. Now, as the name suggests, this weapon comes in two parts, the insect and the glaive. And as you can see, the insect part is on your arm, and there is the glaive. Now, what's all this talk of flying at the beginning of the video? Well, let me show you. So, to start off, the insect glaive, as I mentioned in the dual blades video, is the other very mobile weapon in the 14 weapon roster. It rivals the dual blades, but while the longsword has the spirit helmbreaker, which is a downward slash coming from the air, and the sword and shield having leaping attacks which sends you flying up in the air, the insect glaive offers air superiority in a sense where if you meet certain conditions, you can remain airborne while continuously dealing damage. Now that that's out of the way, let's go circle back to what I said earlier. This weapon comes in two parts, the insect and the glaive. The glaive is primarily your attacking tool. It is the part of the weapon that allows you to make damage, while the insect is your supportive tool. Now I'm here in the equipment box where we change our gear to further enhance the explanation when it comes to the insect glaive. As you can see in the box, there are two bugs, the one with the orange wing and the one with the blue wing. Now the kinsect is the insect part of the weapon, and its primary purpose is to give you buffs to enhance your combat abilities. Now there are different types of kinsects. In the beta, we are only limited to two kinsect types, the cauldron and the mauldron. But in the full game, you will have multiple different types of kinsects, and if they will be following the same path, you can have the ability to upgrade your kinsect at the smithy. You see there on the right side, the cauldron has 1 bar of power, 1 bar of speed, and 1 bar of stamina. Now that could be different. Each kinsect will have their own specialty. Some will specialize over power, which means it specializes on getting buffs to increase your power. Some will have better speed buffs, some will give you more stamina. Aside from that, they can also have different attack types like severing and blunt, different elements, and different dust effects. So the cauldron that we have here has poison as its dust effect, while the other one, the mauldron, has a recover dust effect. I'll show you what the dust effect is later. So now that we're done with a quick explanation of what the kinsect is, we'll go ahead and show you how it comes into play. You start off with just your basic triangle and circle attacks with your glaive. Not very fast, but it does hit a lot because it has a lot of these leaping and spinning attacks. Your basic triangle attack does a variety of slashing combos, while your basic B attack provides you with a heavier animation sweeping attacks. Nothing special, standard attacks, but that's not where the insect glaive shines. Remember what I told you about the insect part, the kinsect gathering buffs for you? Let's get to that. So with your weapon drawn, if you hold down the right trigger, it will show you this targeting tool, this reticle, which looks a lot different from your focus mode. Now what does this do? This is how you direct your kinsect. With the right trigger held down, you can send your kinsect to extract essences, which will buff you, by pressing the Y button. After you've gathered the essence, you can command your kinsect to come back by still holding the right trigger and then pressing B. Below your sharpness meter, it will show you some symbols. There is the bug symbol, and there is the numbers 1, 2, and 3. Each number corresponds to the buffs that we saw earlier. Number 1 is power and is symbolized by the color red on your targeting tool. Number 2 is speed, which is symbolized by the color white. And number 3 is stamina, which is symbolized by the color orange. You can usually gather the red extract from the monster's head, white from their mobility parts like wings or legs, and orange in their midsection or their body, sometimes even the tail. For all other parts, you may see green, which is health recovery. So yes, you do have a little bit of recovery moves with the Kinsect. It's not as powerful as a Mega Potion or a Max Potion, but it helps during a fight. You can also see the color of the essences that your Kinsect currently carries before they even come back to you by looking at the bug icon on the left of the numbers. And yes, as you can see there, you can carry 2 essences before your Kinsect comes back. Now, what is the benefit of getting all 3 essences? Getting all 3 essences will basically make your attack patterns look a little different, hit harder, and move faster. Having the benefit of all 3 buffs, your hunter essentially becomes a little bit more effective with using the Insect Glaive. So let's see. Now that we have all 3 buffs, your combos become stronger and you get more spins. Also, while having all 3 buffs or extracts, you can do a powerful combo as shown there on the bottom. So you move forward and then press B, and then you hold B and release it. And towards the end, you press LT and then B. So let's chain that together. Forward B, hold charge, release it, and then LTB. It's a flashy move that makes you somewhat like a tornado. It is called the Rising Spiral Slash. Now take note that when you do the Rising Spiral Slash, it consumes your essences. However, in the act of you rising and spinning to the air, your Kinsect collects essences as well. So depending on where you hit the monster, you can get 1 or 2 or even 3 essences back, which makes going back to doing more combos much easier. Now, another fun thing that you could do with a stack of full extracts is aerial attacks. Remember that I mentioned this weapon has verticality? Well, here it is. If you press right trigger and A, and from there you could do some fancy things. With 3 extracts, you can do a descending spinning slash, which you can then chain with normal attacks right after you hit the ground. Another thing that you could do with a full stack of extracts, while mid-air, you could press triangle, which will give you this animation. You will spin your glaive around your body in a helicopter motion like, which will allow you to do multiple hits as you go over the full length of the monster's body. Now, it is not shown here in this version of the beta. I believe they mentioned that they fixed it, but you can actually chain the advancing slash, which will allow you to juggle yourself in the air and basically bounce and then send yourself jumping again to another direction. And as long as your stamina can handle it, you can stay in the air doing that over and over. Now, since I can't show you here, because I think this is the older version of the game in this beta, I will show you how it looks like in Monster Hunter World. That was cool, right? So yeah, that is my favorite insect glaive move. You can't always rely on that because that's not always going to be effective. Again, it is situational. Sometimes it's better to vault over the monster and then do the B attack to send you spinning down to do somewhat like a crashing attack. Now, another thing that you could do with the insect has something to do with the powders earlier that we were looking at. While holding down your left trigger, you can actually send your Kinsect to the monster and let them keep attacking it. So while holding down your Kinsect targeting tool, press RB and you will shoot a target marker, which your Kinsect will continuously attack. While they're attacking, depending on what part that is, they will keep collecting essence from that part. Now you see that purple powder there? That is the powder. And since this Kinsect that we have has poison powder, if we attack that powder, it will explode and cause poison. Alternatively, if you use a different Kinsect, like say this mole drone that we have in the inventory that has health powder, it will produce healing powders, which when you hit, will heal you. So you're probably wondering, Riku, how long will the Kinsect keep attacking that marked spot? Now, do you remember that yellow bar in between the bug symbol and the extract symbol with the numbers? That yellow bar is the stamina of the Kinsect. And it will continue to attack for as long as it has stamina, or when you recall it, or put away your weapon. But Riku, how does it look like when you vault in the air and you attack without full 3 extracts? Well, let me show you. If you vault without all 3 extracts, you will not be spinning your weapon around. Instead, you will shoot yourself in the direction you're facing, and you will do a single slash. That's for your Y attack. Now for your B attack, you will do a simple jumping slash. That's basically it. There is also a charged B attack that you can only do while having 3 essences. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get 1 essence, the white one, and then the red one. And then take it back. Now, I can hold the B button, run around, and my glaive will be glowing red. Now once I release it, it will do a strong descending slash. Which you can then chain straight to the LTB attack, which is the rising spiral slash. And as you can see, I hit all 3 major parts of the body with all 3 extracts. So even though that attack consumed all of my extracts, I got them all back. So again, with all 3 extracts, hold down B to charge your attack, and then let go when you're ready. And at the end of the attack, press LT and B. And there you go. Now before I show you the focus mode attack, there is one thing that the insect glaive specializes in, which unfortunately I cannot show you here in the training area. And that is mounting monsters. Yes, while you're airborne in a vault, while you're doing your mid-air attacks, there is an unseen build-up meter for jumping attacks, which when you meet the criteria allows you to latch on the back of the monster. From there, you can attack the monster repeatedly until you break a certain part and do a combo finisher. Now, every weapon can mount a monster. As long as you're hitting the monster from above or airborne, you can have the ability to mount the monster. However, there are weapons that specializes more on this, and these are the weapons that lets you go airborne. Personally, I find it easiest to mount a monster with the insect glaive, of course, and the sword and shield. Because the sword and shield has the backstep charged attack, which when you hit the monster afterwards will launch you up in the air. Now let me show you the insect glaive's very interesting mounted finisher. So yes, you basically pole dance on your glaive that is stabbed onto the monster's back. Alright, and finally we go to the focus mode attack. So to bring up focus mode, hold down LT, aim your reticle, get in range. Now watch what happens. I have 0 extracts right now. Watch what happens after I do this. So you stab the monster with your glaive, you jump back, you send your Kinsect crashing onto the monster, collecting all 3 essences, and then comes back, giving you all 3 essences. So as you can see, you don't really need to keep collecting the essences. It is highly situational. Sometimes you only need the speed, sometimes you only need the stamina, sometimes you only need the attack power. However, when you do get the chance, try to get all 3 of them. And from there, you can do powerful combos that will expend your extracts, however, also collect extracts for you. Additionally, while on focus mode, if you do normal attacks, your Kinsect will join you in the fight and will immediately collect extracts and send them back to you at the end of the animation. So that's another good way to collect extracts. I love this weapon because it looks so fancy when you attack. It's like you're dancing, just like the dual blades. So there you have it. That is the basic of the most basic of the basic information about the insect glaive. I'm sure there are other guys out there who can go even further in depth with all the combos and the button presses and all that. But this is just to introduce you to the weapon to see if it is something that would fit your playstyle. Is the insect glaive going to be a part of your arsenal when Monster Hunter Wilds comes out? So let me know in the comment section if you think that the insect glaive is the perfect fit for you as your either primary or secondary weapon. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing and turning on that notification for future episodes. This has been Riku once again, along with Vivi, and we'll see you in the next weapons intro. Bye bye.